I want to start by asking you something, and I want you to really sit with it. When was the last time you lost it with your teenager? When was the last time you said something you didn't mean or walked away from an argument feeling like the worst parent on the planet? Or maybe you didn't lose it dramatically. Maybe you just went cold. You shut down, said fine in that tone that meant nothing was fine. Dismissed them, rolled your eyes. When was the last time you were human? In the last video, we talked about the myth of the perfect parent. We touched on the idea that good parenting is not about getting it right every time. I want to go one step further today, because knowing that perfection is a myth and knowing what to do instead are two very different things. Most parents have been told to lower the bar for themselves. Very few have been told what to actually do when they fall short of it. Today we fix that. We're talking about repair. And here is what I need you to understand before we go any further. Repair is not damage control. Repair is not the thing you do after the real parenting. Repair is the relationship. It is some of the most important work you will ever do. Let me be really clear about what repair is, because I see a lot of well-meaning parents doing something that looks like repair, but it isn't. Repair is not an apology that asks your child to make you feel better. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Do you forgive me, for example? That's putting the emotional labour on your teenager. That's making them responsible for your guilt. That's not repair. Repair is not an explanation. I yelled because I was so stressed from work. You have to understand that. Your child doesn't need to understand your stress. Your child needs to feel safe with you. Those are two very different things. And repair is definitely not conditional. I'm sorry I shouted, but you really did push me. That little word "but," remember we talked about that before, undoes everything. Real repair is simple and it's uncomfortable precisely because of its simplicity. Real repair sounds like, I was wrong to speak to you like that. That wasn't okay. You didn't deserve that. That's it. Own what happened, name what was wrong, make it clear that the problem was your behaviour, not their existence. What I saw again and again in schools is that some parents thought, my teenager doesn't care. They've moved on already. They'll think it's weird if I bring it up now. And then I'd speak to the teenager. The teenager has not moved on. They've stored it. They are highly sophisticated meaning-making machines, and the meaning they made from your rupture without repair is almost never a neutral one. Adolescence is fundamentally about identity. Your teenager is asking constantly, unconsciously and unconsciously sometimes, who am I? Am I lovable? Do I matter? Can I trust the people around me? And every interaction you have with them is data, information they're using to answer those questions. When you lose it and you don't come back, the information they collect is, when things get hard, the adults in my life disappear. My feelings are too much. I need to manage this alone. When you come back, when you repair, the information they collect is something completely different. It says, relationships can sometimes be tough, but they can survive hard moments. Adults can be wrong and actually say so. I am worth coming back to. That last one, I am worth coming back to. That is what you are teaching your teenager when you repair. Not that you're a flawed parent who needs forgiveness. You're teaching them something about their own worth. So here's how some parents do it. You've decided you're going to try the repair thing because something big's happened. You're going to go to your teenager and say the thing that is the repair. And here's sometimes what happens. You walk to the bedroom door and then you stop. Suddenly the door feels enormous. It's a normal sized door, and last Tuesday you went straight in without thinking about it. But right now in this moment, it might as well be the entrance to Mordor. You stand there, you rehearse your opening line. I want to talk to you about earlier. No, probably too formal. Hey, have you got a second? No, too casual. Maybe just knock. You knock. No answer. Of course there's no answer. You knock again. Nothing. And then you open the door 3 centimeters. They're on their bed, headphones in, staring at their phone, completely, magnificently, professionally unbothered. And this is where the moment most parents turn around. Your brain gives you an extremely helpful thought. Actually, they seem all right. They seem fine. They've moved on. Why do I have to bring it all up again? I'll just leave it. I want you to recognize that thought for exactly what it is. It's not wisdom. It's not emotional intelligence. It's self-preservation, dressed up in sensible clothing. Your nervous system does not want to walk into that room any more than you want to walk into their room. And your brain, that spectacular, creative, beautifully unhelpful organ sometimes, is doing everything in its power to give you a reason not to. But you're going to do it anyway. So here's the step-by-step thing. Step 1, you go to them. You don't wait for the moment to feel right. It will never feel right. If you're waiting for the moment that feels right, you'll be waiting until they leave for university. You initiate because you are the adult. The repair is always the adult's job. Step 2, keep it short. This is not a TED talk. It's not 20 minutes. Teenagers are very sensitive radars for when something is about them and when something is actually about us. A long emotional speech about how much you regret what has happened is often more about your need for resolution than their need for safety. The longer you talk, the more it starts to feel like they're sitting through something you need rather than something they need. Keep it brief, keep it clean. Step 3, use this structure. I want to go back to what happened earlier. I was wrong too. And then say the thing, say the specific thing. Not, I shouldn't have got so worked up. Say, I was wrong to raise my voice at you. Then, you didn't deserve that. And here is the part most parents skip. Stop talking. Let there be silence. Let your teenager respond however they respond. They may shrug. They may say nothing. They might say, it's fine, in a tone that suggests it's very much not fine. But they're not ready to say that yet. They might leave the room. That's okay. The repair is complete on your end. You're not repairing to get a response. You're repairing because it's the right thing to do. Step 4, and my mum used to do this. Don't make them perform forgiveness. She would ask, do you forgive me? If you end with, are we okay, or do you forgive me? You've just handed your 15-year-old an emotional responsibility they should never have to carry. The repair doesn't require their sign-off. It requires your honesty. I've put a reference card in the resources section for this video. It gives you exact language if you want to use that for most situations. What to say if you shouted, if you said something sarcastic or cutting, if days have passed and you still haven't gone back. It's short, it's practical. So grab that once the video's finished. But here's what I want to leave you with. You're not going to do this perfectly. You are going to attempt a repair. It's going to feel odd. It's going to feel awkward. Your teenager may roll their eyes. You might stumble over your words. You might stand outside that door for 4 minutes rehearsing a sentence that has 7 words in it. None of that disqualifies it. Research consistently shows that it is not the absence of rupture that predicts a healthy parent-child relationship. It is the pattern of repair. The imperfect parent who comes back is far more powerful than the parent who never cracks. And for teenagers especially, who are watching you with incredibly discerning eyes, who are deciding right now whether adults are people they can be honest with, whether vulnerability is something they should try, whether relationships are safe enough to stay in when they get hard. Every single repair you make is evidence that you are trying. It's evidence that they matter. And it's evidence that being imperfect doesn't mean being unworthy. You are a good parent, not because you don't make mistakes. You're a good parent because you're someone who comes back. And that is everything. So your challenge this week, when things get too much, you say something, you do something you don't quite mean, use the 4-step process.